As with last Sunday, when we celebrated the Most Holy Trinity, there are so many beautiful things that can be said about the most holy body and blood of Christ, the Holy Eucharist, that we celebrate this Sunday. The mystery of Jesus being truly present in the form of bread and wine is as deep and profound as the mystery of the whole of salvation. And it's tempting as a preacher to try and say everything, right? We could talk about so many things in the Old Testament that point towards what Jesus would do at the Last Supper. We could go on a deep dive with philosophy about how the substance, God himself, is different than the appearance of bread and wine in the Eucharist. In the sequence that we just recited before the Gospel, there are many, many beautiful images and thoughts that we could reflect upon. And honestly, I would suggest that as a source of prayer for you. If you're looking for something good to pray with, take one of the missalettes and slowly pray with the words of that sequence. It's very beautiful and profound. But today, as we are in the midst of praying the Novena to the Sacred Heart in preparation for the consecration to the United States of the Most Sacred Heart of Jesus, I would like to reflect on the body and blood of Christ in light of Jesus' most sacred heart. Because, of course, Jesus' sacred heart is, naturally, if you think about it, contained within his body and blood. Like, right, your heart is within your body. So Jesus' sacred heart is contained, in a way, in his body and blood that we receive in the Eucharist. But first, to do all of this, take a deep breath and simply notice yourself. Notice that your body exists. Notice that you are warm and alive, that you are breathing, and that your heart is beating, and that blood is flowing through your veins. And now remember that the same is true for Jesus. After his resurrection, he was not a ghost or a spirit, or just a spirit. He remained fully human. When he ascended to heaven, he did not leave his body behind. Jesus' body and also his eyes and his hair, his lungs and his heart and his blood are in heaven now. Jesus' sacred heart, his completely human and living but also divine heart, is in heaven, loving us with infinite love. He and his heart and his whole body are not an idea or a pious thought or a religious invention. No, Jesus is still as real as you and I are sitting here today. And in the Holy Eucharist, his body and blood that are transformed from simple bread and wine into his divine presence on the altar, Jesus is just as truly present as your heart is truly beating within your chest. Your heart in your body, the blood in your veins, is not just an idea or a symbol. It is real, as you know, because you are alive. Jesus' true presence in the Eucharist is just as real, more so really, than that. Because the Church does not lie or use false, exaggerating words. Our Lord himself did not exaggerate. He didn't deceive us. It wasn't a parable or metaphor. When he says to the Last Supper, "Take, eat, this is my body. Take, drink, this is the cup of my blood." Now, these sacramental elements retain their outward form of bread and wine, but in their true nature, they have become divine. In their true existence, they are the body and blood of Christ. They remain looking like bread and wine, just like Jesus still looked like a regular dude, but he was also God. In a similar way, the bread and the wine become the body and blood of Christ while retaining their outward appearance. When we are presented with the Eucharist at Mass, we are shown, and for those who are able, we receive truly God himself, just as truly as his own heart, his own sacred, loving, divine, yet human heart is beating within his chest. Just as truly as our own heart is beating within our own chest. Just that truly is our God, truly present in this sacred host and precious blood.